What's going on, everyone? This is RR from Finsweet, and in this video we are going over the Finsweet CMS library for Webflow. Now this video is a step-by-step tutorial on how you can set up the tabs tool that we have over at CMS Docs for your CMS. This is a great asset to your collection where you can input it and have tabs that are going to be dynamic. It's going to be easy to update and to add new items, and will automatically add to another tab. Check it out. We're in our designer and we have a blank site, a blank new page, blank canvas. So we're gonna create this slider from scratch. Okay, so we can go step by step on how you can create the slider and then implement the CMS tools for Webflow, the CMS slider that Finsweet has created. Now, why do we need this? You see, Webflow has a tabs function and it is very well, but it does have some limitations, especially when you're working with the CMS. Similar to the problem with the slider, if you want to make it dynamic, if you want to have different collection items, you'd have to literally duplicate the collection, put it on different tabs, and whenever you update it, you have to update it manually. And so in turn, that causes some problems. So Finsweet has found a way to make it that you can have it dynamic every single tab. And then when you add a new item, when you add a new collection item, it just makes a new tab for you. And so we're going to go ahead and learn how to do that today. Now let's go ahead and add a section. So press the plus button, click the section, go ahead and add it, and we're going to name it section. As you can see, it has already added 100 padding. Because this is a previous website that we have created, we have created tutorials with this site, and we have some class names already preset, such as section and container with the padding and also the width. Now, that is very useful. So that's why in general, it's good just to know in general that you want to name your classes. And so creating new ones become easier. So once we have our section, we'll add a container inside this section. So we'll click container and go ahead and add that there. We're going to name this container. So now that we have the section and the container, let's go ahead and create the tab. Press the plus button and scroll all the way down to components and then select tabs. And we're going to drag it, put it right in there. Automatically, Webflow is going to create a couple things for you. We have the tabs overall. This is the whole section. We have the menu, which is actually the links up here, right? Tab link, tab link, tab link. And then we have the content, which is the stuff inside it. And each link is correlated to a certain tab pane. Now, before we add anything, let's go ahead and name these things so that it's easy to refer back to them. Okay, so we're going to call this tabs. This was very important, by the way. You want to learn this and also a secondary class name later. Well, actually, the secondary class name is the one you got to learn, but it's also good to learn this class name as well. So we're going to call this tabs, and we're going to make it very simple because you will actually need this class name later when we get to the code, and I will show you. So we're just going to call this tabs. Very simple. On the tabs menu, we're just going to call it, oops, I accidentally put a period. Let me do that again. Tabs. There you go. The period is, if it were code, you would need a period, but Webflow automatically adds the period for you. So now we have this one. We're going to call this one tabs menu. And we're going to call this one tabs content. And then let's go ahead and name the tab links. So it's going to be tab link. We're going to also name this one tab link. And it's especially important because when we update the look of the tab, when we style it later on, we want that everything will be styled together. So we have that tab link there. And then the tabs content will be tab pane. We're going to call this tab hyphen pane. Same thing here as well. So now that we have our tab link and everything named all together, let's go ahead and add the collection list onto the tab pane. Now we're only going to add the collection list onto the first tab pane. If you have done the slider before, this is almost a little bit similar to that. Just some changes here and there that we're going to do. So now we have the tab pane. We're going to go ahead and add the collection inside there. Go to the plus button, click the collection list, drag it, and put it all inside the first tab pane. We will only need to put it on the first tab pane, nowhere else. And so we're going to click the source, and we'll do the Finsweet products. This is a CMS that we have already created. And if you have any questions on how to create a CMS, go back to our video. We have a video on how to create a CMS step by step. And this is the CMS that we actually created, this Finsweet products. And we showed you how to use all that. Go back to that video and you can learn from that. Now that we have our collection list, before we do anything else, we want to limit the items to 1 because we only want to show 1 item per tab. You see, that's the problem with Webflow's tab as it is right now. It's really, you're not able to add multiple CMS into the other tabs. Well, you are, but it's a little more complicated. And Finsweet has made a tool that makes it so much easier. So we're going to go ahead and click the gear button while we're here. And we're going to click limit items. And we're only going to show 1. So that's it. We only want to show 1 item. Now let's go ahead and name all these items right here. Like we said, when a collection list gets added, you create 3 things. There's the wrapper, there's the list, and then there's the item. So we'll go ahead and name all of them. Now, so that we can differentiate, this is the one for the tabs. We're going to name this one tab collection list. Tab hyphen collection list. I'm sorry. This one's tab collection wrapper, not list. The wrapper, the list is the one after this one. So tab hyphen collection hyphen wrapper. This one will be tab collection list, and then this one will be tab collection item. And then the next thing we're going to do, we're just going to go ahead and add a div block inside this collection item. And let's give a name to this one as well. We're going to call this one tab collection box. Now that we have the tab collection box, let's go ahead and add the items inside this div. These are the elements that are going to be inside here. So we're going to go ahead and first of all add the image. All of our items have an image. So we're going to add that. And we're going to click get image from product image. And of course, we don't want this style. Before I do anything, we're going to name this. We're going to name it tab hyphen img, short for image img. We're just going to put the width at 400 pixels. That looks pretty good. Now what we're going to do is we're going to add another text box because this collection box is going to be actually a flex container, which I forgot to do. So let's go ahead and do that right now. Click the collection box. We're going to make this a flex container. We're going to have it aligned vertically, centered. And then also we're going to justify it center so that everything will be nice and centered. So we have our tab image, and we're going to add a text box, which will contain our text elements. We don't want to just have the text elements there because this is a flex box. It's going to be all, in a row. We want the text box to be there so that we can control that style as well, add the text elements inside the box. So we're going to add a div block inside here. We're going to name this tab text box. I know we're putting a lot of class names, but it's just always good to get you accustomed to doing that as well. This is going to help you in the long run, especially when you go back, when you create these big websites and you're having to refer back to these things. So we're going to go ahead and add the heading onto the tab text box. We're going to name this one heading. These are some preset classes that we already have to make it consistent with the rest of the the pages that we've made in this website. And then we're going to go ahead and add the paragraph inside it. And there you go. Now it's a little stuck together. We want to add some padding. So let's style this a little bit. We're going to put some margin on the left side. We're going to make it about 50. I think 50 would be good. There's two ways to add margin. You could drag it or you can type it. So now that we have this one, I do want to style the tab collection box a little bit because this is not exactly how we want it. So we're going to style the tab collection box. Now remember, that's the one you want to style, not the collection wrapper or list or item. We're going to be styling the collection box itself because this is the one that's going to show when we add the code and when we have the other elements. This is the one that's going to show. So you want to style this one. So let's add some padding all around. I'm just going to do some minimal styling. And then let's add a light gray background just because so we can differentiate what's inside this tab container. I think that's about good. Nice light gray. So let's go ahead and publish the site and show how it looks like without the additions that we've made. So here we go. We have it. This is what the look that we want, but it's not exactly showing the other items, right? We're only showing one item. So then we want to go ahead and add the other things. So what we're going to do right now, we're going to get this tab collection box. Actually, sorry, we're going to collect this wrapper. We're going to get the tab collection wrapper and we're going to copy it and we're going to add it to the second tab pane. So get the tab collection wrapper, copy it, add it to this tab pane. Now, we don't want the wrapper there. The thing we actually all we need is the tab collection box. But because it's connected to the items, we have to disconnect them. We have to detach them from the collection. By the way, I'm so sorry. I forgot to add one more thing. We need to go ahead and go here real quick because I forgot to connect the heading. So let's do that. Let's go there. Let's go to tab pane 1. We got to connect this heading to the collection, duh. So we'll go ahead and check this so that it knows where it's going to extract the information from. See, we have the title and then paragraph. We're going to connect it to the description. And the reason why we did this, of course, is going to extract it, from the collection items from the CMS. But then this one as well, we do want to detach it. Now, it's already been detached, and that's totally fine. We do want it to be detached. If you were to copy this and put it here, it would already be attached. You know what? Let's do that. Let me go ahead and delete this. And if I were to copy this and go here and paste it, notice how see these purple ones? That means it's attached to a collection. But what we're going to do, we're actually going to detach the collection. We're going to detach it from the collection because all we actually need is this one right here, the tab collection box. So we'll go ahead and detach all of this. Just click the gear button and then uncheck it. Gear button, uncheck. Gear button, uncheck. So it is now just a standard thing here. And we're going to copy this and we're actually going to drag this onto the top. We're going to remove it from the collection and we can go ahead and delete the collection. We don't need that. We just need it here. And this is actually just in purpose for you to style it. If you want to add some animations, if you want to add some custom styling, you can use this to style. And then it will make the changes here as well because it's inside this collection box. This is very useful. This is not really for the user. This is more for the creator, for you, the one making it. We have our tab 1. That's the look that we want. And the tab 2 is just there for styling. And like I said, if you want to add this here as well, that's totally fine. We'll go ahead and do that. Now the next thing we're going to do, let's add some style to the tabs. And then this one's very important. We're going to add a tab name, okay? We need to tell the script where it's going to extract the tab name. So what we're going to do right now, let's add some style to the tab. Click tab link. Remember we talked about tab link. it's good that we named it, because then if we style one, it can style the others as well. So we'll go ahead and click this one right here. And we'll go to the first tab. Why don't we go there to the first tab so we know what we're looking at. And let's go to the first tab and let's add some margin in the bottom. Let's add a margin to the right so to separate from the other tabs. And let's add some color. Let's add a pop of color real quick. I personally like purple. The color Finsweet is purple. So we're going to do that. Now this one specifically is the current one. So we're going to style the current one, how it looks like when it is clicked. So we want the text. Montserrat is the text that we've been using. We're going to make it bold and we're going to make it white so that when it's selected, that is the color that we want. But let's look at tab link. What we'll do, we'll make it a purple as well, but we'll make it just a light purple, just like that. We're going to make the text, same thing, Montserrat, or Montserrat, maybe I've been pronouncing it wrong. We're going to make the color of the text just a dark purple. There you go. And this is the color that we want, because then, check this out. When we look at it, has a nice, little thing there, right? Little color selector. So that's pretty cool. Now this is what we're going to do. We're going to add the tab name onto the original collection, and then we're actually going to hide it, because how it looks like is not going to matter. We just need it somewhere in here so that it will extract that information from here. You can honestly place it anywhere, but it's probably useful to just put it here, and then the script will extract that tab name and then put it onto the tabs here with the style that you have. So we're going to put it inside the tab text box. We're going to add a text block. And you actually want it in here, specifically in the collection, so that you can connect it to the collection, right? So we're going to extract this text, and we're going to get it from the year. I have some year numbers on these items. Now the year numbers are not important. They don't say anything. They're not telling us when these products were created. I just want to put year numbers just to, add some variety on there. And before we actually do that, we need to add a div block. We need to place this inside a div block because we have to hide it. So we're going to go ahead and call this tab name. Now the div block, we're going to call this one tab name box. Tab name box. And then the text box is what we're going to do. We're going to call it tab name. Now this is very important. This is the class that you want to remember. You want to place this tab name inside the tab name box, and then we're going to hide the tab name box. We don't want to hide the tab name. We want to hide the box instead. So we're going to go ahead and hide this box because we don't need it to show, but it will show it once we put in the code. Now that we have this, we have our title. We have all these things ready to go. We're going to duplicate this collection wrapper. And we're going to copy it and really just place it in the container. Right underneath. That's totally fine. Because this is actually going to be the collection where they will grab the information from. So what we're going to do here, we're going to add a secondary class. Now the secondary class name is very important. Make sure you remember it. We're going to call this one dynamic tab list, because it's going to be dynamic. It's going to be automatic. It's going to be extracted from the CMS. So dynamic tab list. So we have a secondary name, and over here is totally fine. Now what we're going to do here is we're going to remove the limit. Remember, this limit only had one, but we want to show all of the items. So we're going to click this collection wrapper, and we are going to make the limit 20. So that we have everything. We really only had like 6 or 7 items, but we'll just put 20. And then with this one, when you add a new item, it will automatically add a tab, add a title, and add the information inside. And then the last thing we're going to do is we're going to hide this dynamic tab list. Now we want the second part because we don't want this to hide, but we do want the tab list to hide. Now we have our names. We have our code ready to go. I'm sorry, we have our elements ready to go. It's time to put in the code. Let's look at it one last time, see what it looks like. This is the look that we want. And so we're going to go to the visual script writer on cmsdocs.webflow.io. Now, this visual script writer is your friend, is your best friend. It helps you write the code that you can put on the page. In this CMS list class, we're going to put the secondary class name. Remember that name right here? If you go back to the tab, the hidden tab collection wrapper, that dynamic tab list, we are instructing the script to extract the collection information from this tab list. So we're going to name this .dynamic tab list. You want to make sure you get these names exactly correct, every single letter, or else it's not going to work. And then we're going to go ahead and click the tabs. Now the tab class is the main tab. So that will be pretty much this. It's a good thing we named it very simple, just tabs. So we're going to go ahead and go tabs. That's it. And then the tab name is going to be, remember that hidden tab name that we did, which was this right here, that tab name box? We're actually going to get this tab name. That is the one that we're going to put in the second one right here. .tab name. And then we're going to click reset IX. So we'll go ahead and copy this code. The tab component is telling the script that this is the tabs. The tab name is telling the script where to get the name for the tabs from. So we'll copy this code. We'll go ahead and go to the page. Click the gear button, scroll all the way down to the before body tag, and then paste it. Now you can go ahead and put this in the whole website as well, but if you only need it for one page, you just need to put it on that page. We'll click save. And then we're going to publish it. And then we'll check it out. Remember, you have to look at the live website, not a preview. So we're going to look at the live website. These things always make me nervous. And hopefully it works. And there you go. Notice now we have our years here. And if you click it, we have our different items, different products from Finsweet. Now, as you can see, the years are not shown alphabetically, and that's totally fine. What we're going to do is we're going to go back here. We're going to click the collection that we have, and we're going to go ahead and put there that we want it to be alphabetical. Now you can go ahead and do it for both. We want this to be alphabetical. So we're going to go do sort order. And we're going to make the, instead of description, we'll put year and then save. And we'll go ahead and do this one as well. And there you go, save. Let's publish it. And now look at it, it's now in year order. So this is going to be something super useful that you can use. I'm already thinking of some projects that I want to add this feature, and you can style it however you want. And Finsweet has done an amazing job in creating this product for you. If you're still having trouble setting up those tabs, or if you have any questions, I encourage you to visit sweetjs.io. This is our Slack channel. Join that, and this is our customer service channel where you can ask any questions about any of the tools that Finsweet has created. Until next time, make sure you stay tuned for more videos and more tutorials that we have coming out for everything that Finsweet has to offer.
That's effing sweet.